Welcome back to another video with IDN TV. Now, Young Thug was not charged for that whole pill exchange, that incident that happened this past week. According to the court surveillance, it shows YSL affiliate Khalif Adams handing Young Thug something in court on his way out of that courtroom where the court proceedings was over. So everybody had something to say about it. Some people said that Young Thug didn't know about it, while others said Young Thug knew good and well what was going on. So according to Young Thug's team, they said this.
The reality is Mr. Williams had nothing to do with what went on in the courtroom on yesterday. One of the co-defendants, on his way to the restroom, attempted to pass something to Mr. Williams, who immediately turned it over to the deputy.
He did not know it was allegedly Percocet?
Did not know. Well, we don't know what it is. Did not know what it was, turned it over to the deputy right away. The deputies took action. The individual who had the contraband, not Mr. Williams, was taken into the back, where I'm told he ingested whatever he had. He had to be taken to the hospital, and as a result, court was terminated for the rest of the day.
Now on the other side, which is the DA, they released paperwork saying that Young Thug didn't try to give the pill back to the deputy, that he was actually trying to hide that pill. So it says this, it says, defendant Jeffrey Williams has been indicted along with defendant Khalif Adams for conspiracy to violate the Racketeering, Influence, and Corruption Organization Act and participating in the criminal street gang activity. Among other charges to date, defendant Williams has filed multiple motions demanding a speedy trial, opposing a continuance of any kind, and alleging prosecutor misconduct for one reason or another. The process of selecting the jurors to serve in this case is ongoing, and juror hardships are being addressed in court. Defendant Williams' actions has caused a delay in the trial. On Thursday, January 18, 2023, after a call to order of court, defendant Adams, who is currently serving a life without parole sentence for murder, conducted a hand-to-hand drug transaction with defendant Jeffrey Lamar Williams in court. Court surveillance video provided to the district attorney by the Fulton County Sheriff captured defendant Adams and the defendant Williams as the two exchanged the narcotic. The district attorney and the undersigned deputy district attorney observed the chain of events depicted on the Fulton County Superior Courthouse Courtroom 1C surveillance video provided to the district attorney by the sheriff. Now on January 18, 2023, defendant Khalif Adams and defendant Jeffrey Lamar Williams, aka Young Thug, conducted a hand-to-hand drug transaction inside courtroom 1C of the Fulton County Superior Courthouse. Defendant Khalif Adams stood up from his chair inside of courtroom 1C and walked unattended to where the defendant Lamar Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, was seated at the counsel table next to his attorney. Defendant Adam approached defendant Williams and extended a closed right hand towards defendant Williams. Defendant Williams extended his open right hand towards the defendant. Adams closed his right hand and accepted the item of contraband, to wit Percocet, so from inside defendant Adams' hand. Defendant Williams then closed his right hand around the contraband and placed his closed right hand underneath the table where he sat next to his attorney to conceal his receipt of the illegal contraband, to wit the Percocet. Now, Sheriff's Office personnel immediately approached defendant Williams before defendant Williams withdrew his right hand from underneath the table and gave it to the Sheriff's Office personnel for the contraband, which was a Percocet. But they're saying that he attempted to conceal it. Now, the hand-to-hand drug exchange between defendant Adams and Williams led to the discovery of even more contraband inside the courtroom. Following the hand-to-hand drug exchange between defendant Williams and defendant Adams, Sheriff's Office personnel searched defendant Adams, who resisted to being searched. During the search of defendant Adams, the sheriff recovered from defendant Adams a Percocet, weed, tobacco, and other contraband wrapped in a plastic with food seasoning to mask the odor of the marijuana. Defendant Adams was taken to the Grady Hospital after he appeared to ingest other items of contraband he held on his person in an effort to conceal the extent of his crime within the courtroom. And number 3, they say for accuracy, the record should reflect that defendant Williams, along with the defendant Adams, actions caused a delay in the trial. As a result of defendant Williams and defendant Adams' possession and distribution, respectively, of contraband, court was delayed and adjourned before a single jury hardship was addressed for the day. Stated plainly, court was delayed solely because of defendant Williams and defendant Adams' illegal acts of possession and distribution, respectively, of the contraband inside the Fulton County Courthouse. Now, according, the state moves from its honorable court to make a finding fact that court was delayed January 18th, 2023 because of the actions of defendant Williams and defendant Adams. Respectfully signed 19th of January of 2023. So not only did they say that he gave the pill to Young Thug and he adjusted it, whatever he had in his possession. Now that's what the DA is saying. But the folks on YSL's side, they're fed up. For the news, and they said this. They said, shortly after Mr. Adams was taken to the back holding cells, while in the courtroom, the undersigned attorney, his client, and several other individuals could hear loud banging and yelling coming from the holding area where Mr. Adams was being held. While the disturbance took place, several officers ran into the courtroom and went into the holding area where Mr. Adams was being held. Undersigned counsel observed at least 2 officers remove their belts and firearms and then rush into the holding area. The sounds were being distressed to many in the courtroom, and at one point the Honorable Angela D. Williams asked to go back there to check on her client, but was not allowed. Other side's people were concerned for the safety for the defendants. The motion also stated after hearing several minutes of loud noises coming from the back room, all the defendants were brought back into the courtroom except for Adams, who was taken to the Grady Memorial Hospital. According to the state, Mr. Adams was transported to the hospital because he allegedly ingested contraband. However, upon information and belief, Mr. Adams was also transported because he needed medical assistance after being tased several times by officers, according to the motion. Several attorneys raised concern and potential jurors heard the loud noises. They may have audible in the hallways where several jurors are waiting. A representative from the jury services advised the court that potential jurors were told that security had to be tightened up, the motion said. Now, the defense attorneys are now asking for a law enforcement agency like the Georgia Bureau of Investigations to investigate into exactly what happened. They're saying a little bit more went on before he actually ingested it or after he ingested it, but they want to get to the bottom of it. Now, with all this going on, I'm sure it's going to be another delay in this case. Now, they have to get this situated. Now, I know one thing's for sure. I know Gunna and the other ones who took that plea deal are probably happy with their decision because this case looks like it's going to take forever to start. And once it starts, I feel like it's going to be even more delays when it comes to this whole thing. Now, the judge on this case, he's handing out $10 fines to all of the lawyers who are not wearing their face masks correctly. So they got jurors writing 30-page essays, and they got $10 fines in court for not wearing their COVID mask correctly. It's going to be a long case.
While we're waiting, Mr. Johnson, where's our $40? Here's what I'd like you to do, sir. I would like you to make a donation to your favorite charity and bring me your receipt on Monday, okay? What? Make a donation. No, don't. No, you're not going to pay me. The Miss Weaver's substance fund is a separate issue. But I said Miss Weaver's substance fund. Oh, Mr. Child, I'm so glad you can make it back while I'm making my announcements. If you're gonna leave, let us know. Let us know where you're going, so at least I can go ahead and I can account for you on the record. But Mr. Johnson, just make a donation to your favorite charity and show us a receipt, and that's fine. Okay. Okay. All right.